Hello, welcome to today's immigration tidbit. Well, first of all, with a J waiver, every case is different. Okay, there's no way I can just give you a list of acceptable reasons because each case is individual. If it were all the same, and if the reasons were the same, then essentially there'd be a form. You would check the box, and then the adjudicator would see if the boxes are checked, and then grant or deny. So when we do in my office the J waivers, we collect all the information that could possibly go into approving such a waiver, such as economic hardship, psychological hardship, mental hardship, if there's asylum related hardship, persecution related hardship. Then we get into hardship of the spouse if there's a spouse. Same thing, go to all the various things. May or may not get a psychological report of hardship from a psychologist who's trained in this matter. It depends. We look at why you're subject to the 2 year rule, what government assistance you got. We determine if the skills are heavily needed or needed a little bit in whatever country you come from. We look at the amount of government assistance, what you did yourself, why it is at this point that you want to get the waiver. We have to look at how long you have left on the program, what the purpose of the program was. I mean, I could go on and on. So you see, when doing a J waiver, it's very individualized. There's people that think you just fill out a form and send it in, and that's that. The waiver, as with any waiver, is discretionary. That means that the reality is when it goes in the door, the officer is going to say no. And your waiver has to prove them wrong, has to convince them that they should grant it. That even though you agreed to the terms of the J visa, and even though you should go back for 2 years to do whatever it is that the program trained you to do, that officer is in agreement with why the waiver should be granted. It is a hard burden to get over. It's not easy. There are waivers that are easier than others. For example, the Walsh waiver is one of the hardest burdens to get over. Whereas for someone who's doing a marriage type petition and they're subject to the 3 to 10 year bar and they have no other grounds of inadmissibility, that provisional waiver has an easier burden. The J waiver is somewhere in between, which means it's not easy. And so, when it's sent in, we have the attorney cover letter, declarations, affidavits, we have supporting evidence, we have supporting declarations. It's a whole production. Okay. So for those of you out there that think that applying for a J waiver is easy and it's granted easily, the answer is no, that's not the case. It's always nice when an approval comes through, because you put a lot of work into it and you think that you have great arguments on your side as to why it should be. So that in a nutshell is what you need to do to have a successful J waiver. Okay.